doesn't know much about UTM codes, so you can advise them how to build links, right? What to add in the end. How do you go about that? Like, that's a job in itself to kind of think of, you know, where they should put links with UTM codes and how to track their campaigns.
Right.
And what should be a campaign, considering I'm not a marketer.
Right. So first rule is never put UTM codes on your own website. Right. So within your own site, you should always, those should be clean links, never use UTM codes. So that means anytime someone's coming from another website, you can consider adding it. But you don't have to do it on every link, because Google is able to understand links from most other websites. For instance, if you put yourself on a local restaurant website, Google Analytics will know that's a referring visit, and it will tell you the source is the website's URL. So you might not need to add it there. But in an email is a really good place for it, because Google doesn't always know it's an email, and sometimes people read the email on their web browser. Some people read it in their app. Some people read it, I don't know. Yeah, but the point is, every time they click a link, if you don't tag the email, it'll be different in the referring source in Google Analytics. So adding it in email is very helpful, because then every time it's clicked, regardless of on their web, you know, using their Gmail on the website or using an app, it'll all consistently report. So email is a really good place to do that. Social media is typically not necessary, because Google is able to see that the visit came from Facebook or Instagram or whatever.
And if we are promoting, let's say, a service at a particular time or a product, then you would kind of track it as a special campaign name to kind of have these efforts unified.
Yes.
Yeah. So mention, David, the example of the pen you had. The
Oh wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a good example.
So when I first started Reliable Acorn, my main agency, I gave everybody I met a ballpoint pen. I don't have one. A ballpoint pen. on my pen, I had reliableacorn.com/pen, P-E-N. And if you just typed reliableacorn.com/pen into a browser, it would not only redirect you to a page, but it would set the UTM codes. So I could go into Google Analytics and see how many people visited my website after receiving my pen.
Mm-hmm.
But in that case, it wasn't even on a website. It was like from another site. So you could do that on a billboard or a bus stop too, right? Because if you just put your domain name on a bus stop, how did they find you? They just, it's going to be a direct visit. But if you put bus, reliableacorn.com/bus stop, well, now I know how many people found me from my bus stop ad, as long as you add a redirect with the UTM code.
And that's usually using like a pretty links or something like that to get that code to go to it, or is there something
I just set up a redirect within my own website.
Oh, okay, a redirect.
Reliable Acorn has a plugin for redirects /pen, and that redirects to the UTM code page. Page with the UTM code. But so I would advise your client to, number one, only add it from other websites. And I would encourage them to look in their Google Analytics and see what they can see. they might see they're already getting clicks from Facebook and realize you don't have to do it because you're already seeing this stuff from Facebook, right?
Mhm.
But if they are, for instance, this client that I set up the separate report for this week, they had done a display ad on another website. And I wanted to be able to show them how many people clicked on that display ad, or how few people clicked on that display ad in this case. And because I told them to add the URL, the UTM tracking code to the display ad, I could see how many people or how few people actually did end up clicking on it. Another place it's mandatory is Bing paid search,
Mhm.
because Google Analytics cannot tell the difference between Bing paid and organic. It's all from the big search engine. If a nefarious SEO person would pay for Bing traffic and make it look like your SEO traffic's going up, if you don't set that up. It's actually a switch you can add on Bing, and it'll automatically add it for you, but you have to tell Bing to do it. Otherwise, Google Analytics doesn't know the difference between that. Does that kind of help give you some guidelines?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, David.
Okay, this is a really powerful, UTM Builder is a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're asking before they do it, because sometimes people get very excited and they add it everywhere,
Yeah, I'll do
and
that.
it gets a little messy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, and my client is clueless, so it's me
Yeah.
advising and knowing how
Yeah.
far I am. I'm thinking maybe not everywhere.
Well, so one thing people do, and I've done this before, is I create a spreadsheet,
Mhm.
and you
Yeah.
can just use some Excel magic to create a UTM code. And that way, you know what you've done in the past, so that you can make sure it's consistent, because that consistency is key.
Yeah.
We talked about that last
Yeah,
week.
definitely. I'll add to make sure, I think you mentioned it, but just in case, to make sure you add UTM codes to all your Google Business Profile links, any links that you're adding on that.
Yes,
And I
you're
did
very
that,
good.
and remember last time it wasn't showing, but it's showing now. So it
There
was
you go.
the
Oh,
time issue.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, good, good, good. Good to
I'm
hear.
glad. I wanted to ask you that. Did it start showing up? So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good.
So that one is checked off.